Good evening.
Good evening, Nandya ji. How are you?
Well, I am at the top of the world, as always.
Nice, nice. Sounds good.
Yeah. Absolutely. Because whenever I meet you, I feel very happy.
I am also, whenever I meet you, definitely I am double happy.
Oh, sir, thank you so much. You are very kind. You're very kind. You are very kind. And what is happening with respect to your work? I mean, is everything okay?
Yes, of course. My work is going very good and
Uh-huh.
fantastic.
Okay.
And Clapingo classes was also good. And right now also going good.
Okay, lovely. So Clapingo classes was you can say that the Clapingo classes are going good, okay?
Okay.
Because they are ongoing. They're ongoing, right? Because it is continuing, right? And which you said at the last, that was also very nice. Now also it is going good. At this moment it is happening. So you're using the present continuous tense.
Okay.
Great, wonderful. And that brings me to today's topic. If Sudhirji wants to talk about it. So my first question, as I always ask you, would you like to discuss about the topic, or do you want to talk about something else today?
No, no, yes, of course. Can you just recall for me which, which are the documents?
Which are the documents? Which are the documents? The topic is, I think, if you have the same document what I have, is generation gap. Do you have the same?
Generation. Okay.
Right. So my first question to you: what is a generation gap?
Generation gap, I can say the father or kid.
Father.
The age between the father and their kids. Uh, I can say, is this a generation gap? I think so.
I mean, when you say that is understood between a father and a kid, but for example, Sudhirji, how would you really define that? How would you define that?
Sometimes I heard from aged people because I am sitting with them also uh, because they have the very good knowledge. So I'm willing to sit with old age people. So they are just telling in your generation you are not doing so this and you are not a hard worker or your lifestyle.
I mean, how do you explain me generation gap between a father and a son, whatever that you say it's.
I can say I heard from my father and my grandfather. They are told me we are going to school by running the at least 5 to 6, 7 kilometers. And right now you are the people. You are just if you have to plan to go your school, you need a bike or you need to cycle for 1.5 or for 500 meters or 1 kilometers. But we are the guy. In past we were traveling at least 5 to 10 kilometers and we are crossing the river and then after we complete our education. So this is the generation gap. In that generation gap the facility was not available, but in our generation there are uh, good facility. uh, in sometimes if I can say in my village, still the electricity with it not come 24/7. It will come it is come at least 16 or 18 hours only within the day. but in my father and in my grandfather's times, if I go older, means if I can saw in my past, so 10 to 50 years back, there was no any electricity. They are just using the lalten. You know lalten.
Yes, sir. I know. Very much. I know that. It's
So in
in
my
English.
childhood also.
In
Sorry,
English, it
sorry.
is. In English, it is. I think it is known as lantern. Lantern. Lantern.
Lalten. Okay.
And that word has actually originated from this word only. When it's this, which you're saying, laltain in Hindi, that is lantern in
Okay.
English.
Okay. Lalten. So
Okay.
I will fit this word in my conscious mind. So in next time I will recall from there. So
Great.
in my childhood also, when we have visited to plan my summer vacation, so I go to my hometown, and in evening 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, um, all the villagers they go to sleep, and because of darkness, there was no any electricity. They are just only for using lantern. So it's very means I can say very dangerous, because the robbery cases, or because without if I can compare with today's time, so we can't survive without the power, without the electricity. If today, if I'm in Ahmedabad, so maybe sometimes, if I can say, in within the year, maybe hardly light electricity off 2 or 3 times. For if 2 or 3 times, just for maybe any major issue, or 30 to 40 minutes. And in the night, if the power goes down, so the public will come out and just means shouting, because we can't survive. But in last generation, if my first and second generation, so they have already passed this time. So this is the very crucial time they have, means I can say struggle time. Maybe it is a struggle or not, I can decide it. But they are. But when I heard from this story, so I really means wondering how these people are survive their life, and right now we are just a very comfort zone. So if I put in their shoes, so I realize how they are. Their life is really means remarkable. So so I
Thank you.
can just say this is the generation gap, the
Okay.
facility, the infrastructure, and there is thinking gap also. They are just because they not maybe today's. I am not telling that today's generation is not hardworking. Of course, they are hardworking, but in previous time they don't have the facility and they achieve their task. But today we have the facility, but we are just thinking how we can do this. If I'm telling, if I currently I'm using the Clapingo for communication in English, and but I am talking about my father. He has completed their graduation in BSc in around 1970 or 80 times, and he is a very good fluencer in English. So, but right now he's not available, so I missed it. But I think the how they, because they are working, and then after they all are the farmers, and they complete their task. The farmer, the farmers, the how they are struggling their life.
Right, right,
I
right.
think so. This is the generation gap in my mind, in my opinion. So I will over to you. Now you can. Now your turn. You can.
Yeah. Sir, just couple of things that I would like to add into your conversation, apart from whatever that you said. Uh, when there is a power cut, you can say that when there is a power cut, or you can also say in a nice there's a wonderful word called power outage.
Power outage, yes.
So you can say that whenever there is a power outage these days, I mean, when you are referring to this current generation, they'll immediately get into protest, right?
Right.
That's what you meant. So you can say that. So for me, sir, I'll tell you, Sudhirji, that it is a difference in the values and the attitudes. Okay. It is the difference in the values and the attitudes between one generation and the other. Meaning, if we are talking about our generation, Sudhirji, then the difference of values and the attitudes between the generation that was preceding to us. I mean, father, our father, grandfathers, and this differences, they actually stems from older and younger people not understanding each other.
Right.
Because why? Because of their differences in experiences, opinions, habits, you can say. So this, whatever the differences has happened or whatever they might have experienced. So always history has experienced a certain degree of generation, I mean, generational differences, if I would have to say that.
Right.
So for me, that is generation gap. Thank you very much. And so, I think my next question to you would be that have you ever felt a generation gap with your parents or any relatives that you can talk about?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Not my relative, but some. But it is person to person depend because the thought process. I cannot add it in as a generation gap. But if you can allow me, so I will just explain, and you can decide me is this generation gap or maybe just a person to person thought process.
You can decide me, or you can let me know. You can say that.
You can let me know.
You can say that you can decide me. You can say that you can let me know. Yeah.
You can let
Please,
me know. So,
please go on.
okay. So one day we are just sitting around the public meeting, in society meeting. The one of the eldest person has come and just discussed about, the in tea stall and pan stall, there are some leaders. They are just decided how the economy goes and how the economy is and
I mean, they are, sir, they are decided. No, you see, they decide actually. They
they
decide
decide.
the economy of the country.
They decide the economy of the country and how the people wear dresses. So
Yeah.
so just regarding of one woman cases for current situation. So
Hmm.
they are just deciding in our generation, in the ladies they are not wearing jeans or tops, and they are, but today your generation they are using. You have to stop them, and you have to think about that. So in my opinion, they have the fundamental rights to live their lives. So I just explained, but the older people get angry me. You can't know about the how the because how the means they are just giving me example for rape cases, all that kind of stupid things, because they maybe they know my what I'm trying to say him, but they can't accept that. They are just telling me you can't know, you are just kid for me. I have the blah blah experience and blah blah experience. So in in our generation, the ladies will just ask for their father and their husband what to do, and in your generation they are the honor or the home minister of their family. So maybe this is generation gap, or maybe it is a person to person depend. So you can let me know.
Yeah, thank you for your insights, sir.
This is the thought process of the older one person.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at them, so how the major issue which arrives here, as per your conversation, this is due to the mental gap in
Okay.
terms of the thinking patterns they have and the current trends that are going.
So we can't link as a generation gap, right?
We can.
We can.
Absolutely, we can.
Okay.
We can. See, for example, I'll give you one of the biggest example, and you will immediately agree with me. I hope we have some time, 2, 3 minutes.
Yes, I suppose.
Technical ability, which is the biggest limitation for this generation. The way younger generation, the way they are using technology,
Yes.
and at a jet speed they are using it, right?
Right.
So for something which has been moving very fast, you have to realize that it becomes slightly and then it becomes increasingly challenging for the generations earlier to us.
Of
And then
course, right.
this gap is slowly increasing. So because of their inability also, they tend to feel, I mean, things are too fast. And as a
Okay.
result of which they try to generalize everything. Then
Right.
there are very few people, Sudhirji, I have seen from the past generation who has the courage to acknowledge this fact. No, we don't know technology. We understand that.
So
Instead of,
that's why I have just stopped, and I just told maybe you are right, I'm wrong. So I will go, and I have some work, so I will go and finish my work.
no, no,
So
it's
I
not.
leave.
It is always important that you keep your opinion.
Yes, of
Like
course,
I
I have give my opinion, but they can't accept. So I'm not a prime minister of India, so I can't.
no,
Uh,
that's what I'm trying to say. You always put your stand, Sudhirji. And when you put your stand, you say that I am not expecting you all to agree on this. This is just my thoughts, right? So what
right.
you're doing at the same point of time, you're placing your opinion also. And you have also said this, that it is not a compulsion that you have to agree.